Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web. I've decided on a little project. The tiles that you get with your Dungeons and Dragons Adventure game system, they're okay. You know, they're quite nice, nicely detailed. You know, there's all sorts of nice little features on them. But I think I might be able to do better. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to redo on these tiles and make more of a 3D effect. So what I've done so far is I've got a piece of foam core. I've marked it out to equal the start tile. Now the start tile, as you can see, is 4x4 on one half and 4x3 on the other, because the one part is a wall. So I'm going to do something a little, well, I'm going to do exactly the same but slightly different. So what I've also done, you've got some card, and I've cut out a, no, what size is it, 3x2 inch, a 2x2 inch and a 1x2 inch, and these are going to be our steps. So that's our entrance board. But as you can gather, I did that before I realised that that is a wall, so it's only 4x3, so I've done sort of like one extra, one too much, or move that one over and have that one like that, and I'll be putting a wall with a bit of a doorway there. So how do I go about doing all this? Well, I've got my glue gun here, it's plugged in and ready to go. But before we do that, it might be easier showing you the first step. And that first step is to make these 3D tiles. So how do we do that? When we get our straight edge, and as you can see I've marked off on the tiles, and what we do is we go lightly over the top surface. So we aren't actually cutting through the whole thing, we're just cutting through the paper covering. And we do that all over. So we do not want to go all the way through, we're just going through the top layer of paper, card, whatever, down to the foam. And when we've done this, I'll just do that one tile first to show you. So as you can see, it's not, that one's not done as well as I hoped. Okay, I'll do these, I'll have to do the long sections as well. And so we're just doing the top layer of card. You don't want to cut it in half, because we've got to make these tiles look as though they are three-dimensional. And we're going to be doing some extra bits and pieces as well. Now also what we do is we get our embossing tool, and where we've done the cutting, we just run our embossing tool over that area. Now we do And it doesn't really matter if you cause any damage to any of these, because they're going to be damaged anyway. So you can see the 3D effect slightly there. You'll see it more once I come around to paint it at a later date. We can't paint it as yet, but at some point in the future we will be painting it. So what I want to do is I want to carry on doing these, because these two are going to be in those two, or those 4 squares are going to be under the stairs, and that strip is going to be the back edge, and there's going to be a wall on it, so we don't need it. So it's just, that can be placed there, that can be placed there, and then when we have a wall up, it's going to look something similar to that, as you can see. But first of all, I need to finish off doing the stones. Oops. Like I said, don't matter if you go a little too heavy-handed in some parts, it just makes the stonework more individual. And we need to do that area even though it's going to be pressed up against the stairway. Doesn't matter, we'll not do that part. So the stairs have been done. Obviously, it's just sticking down. The stonework has been done. What we also need to do is think of how we're going to mark off where the spawning points are. So what I may do is something with like the paint. Draw something on the, or manufacture some, or make something that's going to fit on that square where we know it's a spawning point. Not necessarily skulls, but we'll sort something out. Okay, so the first set of stairs goes on, then the second set of stairs goes on. Now we need to think of something for a wall here. Now I suppose what I could do is a vertical piece of the foam core, and this is where I was telling you when I was doing the dice tower not to throw away scrap pieces, because they will always come in handy. Yeah, right, I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this bit off and I'm going to attach it like so. We have the beginning of our wall, we have our stairs done. There's no walls going on the outside edges because, as you can see, they're all open on there because I've got the jigsaw pieces on. I'm not going to put the triangles on because they will be on those tiles, so when you're actually playing you turn these tiles over and then you would follow these but put this terrain down rather than the tile. Okay, and what I'm going to do as well is number each of these, and then on the bottom when I've painted it, number that as well. Okay, back to change my mind. They can come off. I've got a better way. I found it. Remembered a better way of doing these. That's too fiddly. Way too fiddly. You know what I have to do is that. Right. Okay, here goes. If we're going to mess things up, we might as well mess things up properly. Right, so we've got our measurements of inches there. I'm going to do it now in 1/2 inch. I'm going to mark every 1/2 inch spot here, and the same on this side. Half inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/2 inch. For me, this is all trial and error. I don't need that yet, so I'm just marking off first. Now then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the halfway point, and that's the one that can come off. Okay, now, are we going to have this so that it's a stone wall or what? So if it's going to be a stone wall, then we just do odd little shapes, or should we do like a man-made? Yeah, so I'm going to do a line there, and a line there, a line there, and a line there. And we're going to do again what we did down here, which is just cut the top layer of the paper, and don't forget that part as well. And we do the stones on here as well. So I'll do bigger. And just to break it up slightly, when you glue this side on, so if you change them around so that don't look the same, if you can see that. So we'll do this one now. And it just makes this look like stone. You can round the edges off rather than brick. We can also, if you wish, do like a bit of a post there to show us like a doorway, which might be an idea, with just a thin piece of offcut. So we'll do, oops, do that there, like so, and do this at the bottom here. Again, like so. So we've got our walls with our stairway down. As I said, we can add a post, to each edge. And it doesn't have to be straight. Mind your fingers. There we are. And let's see how it looks so far. For the hero figure. There we go. Okay, the next step is to paint it all with oh no, there's a thought I could do. Where's the start tile? Okay, so that's there. So that area there is one spawn point, and that area there is another spawn point. Right, so my thinking there is we can have some gunge there, like blood and whatever. So I'll just put a bit of glue, bit of the hot glue gun, or bits of the glue out of the hot glue gun on there, and when it's done, when it's all dried and I've painted it, I'll paint it up like red, so that on your monsters can spawn on that area rather than faff about with skulls and whatever. I know it's not going to be exactly the same, but this is my dungeon. And that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so that's the start tile, we can say complete. What I'm going to do though is over the exposed foam core, I'm going to cover it with either paper or just go over a thin sheet of paper, or go over it with glue, wood glue, PVA glue. And that way when I come to spray paint it, it will stick okay without melting any of the exposed foam. Okay, next we have a crypt corner. Now this is in fact, when I messed up those measurements, that's done me a favour, because that's not too far off. It's 3 by 3, and this is just a touch bigger than that. Okay, so I'll mark off 3 by 3. 3 there. And 3 there. And draw the line. And then do it this way. It's 3 there. By 3 there. And draw the line. Now, as you can see, it's a bit smaller, but that is going to be the corner. It's not the same size as the tile, it's not meant to be. That's the corner. So, this will be numbered, as it's already marked off and labelled on the on there, then that is how it shall be marked off underneath, so I can keep an eye on it. You see, so on the bottom, it's called crypt corner 11 to 15, crypt corner 11 to 15. And on this one, starts. I'm going to do it much better once I've painted it. I'll do it on in pen, but for now that will do, just for me to keep my eye on it, what it is. So what do I need to do here? So I need to mark off in inches 5 and 6, 5 and 6. So this is going to be just like a noughts and crosses grid. And here we'll have two and 3. And just in case you're wondering why I'm saying 2 and 3 and 5 and 6, it's because I've not got the edge of the ruler right up to the edge of the card. I've gone over, so I'm starting off in this case on 1. So I've put the 1-inch mark on the edge. I mean, obviously you've probably seen that, but just to make sure there's no confusion. Okay, and again we'll go over with the with the knife very lightly, just cutting through again the top surface. And down each of these lines to round off the corners. When I say round off the corners, what I mean is to round off the edges of the tiles and the squares. Okay, so our start tile was 2 inches high, 4 inches, just under 3.5 inches. Okay, so we'll go two inches high there. And 2 inches there. And mark off. That's fine. But what I need to do is, what I'm going to have to do with this one is mark that little bit extra I don't want to do it directly towards the directly on the edge, because I want to have that little bit of an overhang so that the corners will butt up. Okay, so that crypt corner will go there, and then the piece at the side of that will fit in like so. So we have a nice corner piece. If you can, oops, if you can see that, that's what we're looking towards. In fact, I don't actually think that 2 inches is going to be workable for these, because we're going to have to be reaching into thingy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one in half and have the walls 1 inch high, apart from that entrance. That would, to me, would make more sense, because, as I said, we just want it to be usable, not just look good. This is the one we're going to be cutting in half. And this is the one that we're going to be marking off for the stone effect. Okay, so now we've done that, we can mark off for the inches and the half inches. Half inch, half inch, half inch, half inch, half inch, and half inch. I'm going to mark it up from this edge. So half inch, half inch, half inch, half inch, half inch, and half inch. Okay, so there's the line, there's the line. As long as the lines don't have to be exactly straight, they can be a bit wonky, but as long as they're not directly under each other, it makes no difference. So again, we go with the knife just through the top layer. And through here. We'll do all these first of all, and then once we've done this side, we'll turn it over and do the other, because it's easy going from the centre line to the outside edge, and going from the edge to the centre line. There we are. It's marked off, and now with the So it doesn't mind if any go slightly amiss, because it's just going to look as though it's an individual stone rather than something that's been meticulously handmade. Bear in mind, this is a dungeon after all, it's not Buckingham Palace or building like that. So we've got that area done. What we can do actually is, that's the one I cut off, I can show you something I was talking about. In fact, I wasn't talking about it, I did mention it but I didn't put it through on the final video. What I can do is take this right down to the back okay, so see what I've done, I've cut that thing there, and then when I fit this one on, it fits on like that, so it's got a stronger bond. And I'm just going to go over the bottom bit of this with my hot glue gun to get it on my come on. To get a load of it coming out when it's just resting. So that goes in there like so. And I am going to put some down here. And push that in there, and there. That's in there. And there we have it. And we'll go with that. And there we have our corner, and that would slightly too big. So what I'm going to have to do is use my straight as, just trim it down a bit, and then where that would go, that wasn't tile, where the thing that would go like that, it would now go like that. Or if somebody was searching on so you've got your thing down, if somebody was searching there, it would obviously move to there. So that's 2 pieces done, 39 to go. Okay, this is going to be a big project, so I'm not going to do them all, I'll just show you 2 tiles. Once I'm going to crack on with doing these, I'll come back when it's time to start painting. So until the next video, take care, God bless, bye for now.